Hey, great day, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. Truth be told, I did not want to record this, but we are here now. Okay. And I did not want to talk about this particular topic, if you can tell by the title, but it was not because I do not have the words. I want to be clear about that. It's more been around because I've been fighting within myself a little bit in this particular season. And the season that I am in has been around for about 2.5 going on 3 years. And so I know that this particular topic around being a woman, being a mom, having decision fatigue, going through a internal evolution of who you are versus who you want to be. I know that I'm not the only one going through this season. And so if you are a woman, if you are a mom, a bonus mom, if you are going into motherhood, if you are building something, leading something, holding everything together, this is probably something that you felt, but maybe you haven't said it out loud. And so, if that is you, let's go ahead and dive into this episode. Welcome to the Dr. TK Show. My goal on this podcast is to help you step into the most abundant version of yourself. We'll dive into abundance mindset, exploring various streams of income, and I will share life hacks so that you can live the lifestyle you desire. Now, as a mom and wife, I've merged my knowledge as a clinical psychologist and professor for over 20 years into building a multi-six-figure service-based business and a seven-figure digital product business doing what I love. I believe you can create a wildly abundant life and business unapologetically, dream big, enjoy life, and make a huge impact. So if you're ready to achieve your biggest goals in your life and in your business with the lifestyle that you deserve, you're in the right place. So let's go ahead and get started. So what I've been realizing lately is that your girl is tired, okay? I'm not physically tired though. I'm more so like mentally tired. And it's because we are not just as women and moms doing one thing. We are juggling through multiple roles, not just in a day, but like in an hour. And so we are mothers. We are, for me, bonus mothers. We are partners or spouses. We are business owners. We are career professionals. And we work inside of our business if you have a business. And when you look at that everything from more like a numbers perspective, that's a 4 to 5 time full time role that you have every single day throughout the week, throughout the month. And then if you wonder why you are overwhelmed, well, this is probably why. If you wonder why you are second guessing your decisions, why you delay things, it's not because you don't know what to do. It's not because you don't have a vision. It's more than likely because you've already made 100 decisions before 12 p.m. And I needed to say this because it's not just for women. Okay. So I know I have men who listen to my podcast, they are in our community, and I want to say something directly to them as well. So if you have a partner or spouse, you can let them listen to this portion or the whole episode. But over the last decade of being married myself and working with men also in my clinical practice, my private practice, one thing I've learned is that hearing a woman's perspective, understanding how she processes things and what she is more importantly holding, it can change to the men how you show up as a partner for your partner. So even if your roles don't look identical to the woman that I'm talking about, this conversation still matters. So now that we've cleared that up in terms of who I'm talking to, let's go deeper inside this topic. So I've been evolving. It's not a secret because I have alluded to it in certain program circles, on certain episodes, but I have been resisting unfolding the whole thing and honestly talking it out with you as though we're on FaceTime or me and my friends on Voxer. So over the past few years, especially in leadership, I've changed. And I don't think we talk about it enough as entrepreneurs and as women in business. And so, what happens when you change? Let's talk about that, about your brand within your business. What changes with your audience, who you're talking to? How do they receive this evolved version of you? Because you know who you used to be, but you also have a clear picture, even though you may fight yourself like I do, around who you are becoming. So I know for myself, some of the streams of income that I have built within my business that have been very successful over the last 5 to 10 years, they have taken off way bigger than I expected. Some of them way faster, but some of them have not taken off in the way that I would have expected in the last 2.5 to 3 years. And it's not because they do not work. It's not because I'm not capable. It's specifically because they matched a past version of me. And I really want you to hear that. If you are struggling with something in your business that used to work, is it because it's not matching who you are becoming? And I don't want you to chalk it up to, well, oh, buying behavior change, people change. And yes, that's true. But you've also changed as well for the good. And what I've been doing when I looked within is I've been trying to force certain streams of income or even how I produce those streams of income into my current season. Like I am making them fit. And then the universe and God is saying, yeah, no, they don't fit. And I'm going to make it very clear they don't fit. But sometimes, your girl don't listen. And so God has been nudging me in all kind of ways. And I've low key been scared, if we can use that word. I have been seeing the nudge. I've been feeling the nudge. And the nudge has said something like, what would happen if you opened up another pathway? Like right now, you've been running your business, running your life through pathway A. What would it be like if you opened up pathway B? And it doesn't mean that pathway B like trumps pathway A, but what if we can somehow merge the two together? And I get fired up about this topic. I have a whole lot actually of scripted podcast episodes when I get fired up. I've even went so far as to record audio podcast episodes, vlogs about this topic, but every time I feel it, and then sometimes I run through it and I create it, I then find myself pausing. Not because I think it's going to fail or the message is not going to get through to the people that I know will benefit from hearing it or seeing it, but it's primarily because over the years, I have built something that works. I've built a brand. I've built visibility. I am in y'all faces online. I've built consistency. When somebody literally types in my name on Instagram, sometimes on TikTok, but I don't post as much there, on YouTube, on Google. I've built visibility and a brand so strong that when you type it in, it says one or two of the following things: clinical psychologist, therapist, business coach, or mentor. Therapists deserve an abundant business and life, something around there with other words. Okay. And if you know anything about creating content, if you know anything about how these algorithms work and how your brand is portrayed in the public eye, when you show up as, let's just say, one big thing, also called a niche, for years, for a decade, the world starts to label you as that. And like I said, for example, go on Instagram right now. Type in who is Dr. TK, spell out doctor, and then TK. It's going to say therapist business coach with a little paragraph. It has its own little SEO there. Why? Because I have went to town building my brand on a platform that was iPhone only. And your girl was on there posting black and white and sepia tone pictures because I love photography. But let's go a little deeper. It's because I also have trained the system to see me in a particular way. So I've planted something deeper, though, outside of me being a psychologist and a therapist business coach. And if you've been in our community, this is not new. So I've always shown lifestyle stuff, whether it be in my stories, whether it be in some little short little vlogs, whether it be in a live. I've always shown motherhood. I've always shown the love of travel, luxury, first class travel, freedom, living a life and not just working in and on your business. So it's not like what I'm talking about right now is completely new. But what I have been doing when I look back hindsight, because hindsight is 2020, is I've been dimming my light. I've been dimming how much I talk about it. So if I had to put a percentage on it, because those of you who know me, you know I love numbers. So I probably talk about this particular topic that we're talking about today, the evolution of you, about 10% of the time. When in reality, for me, it comes up 50% of the time, but not just me, with my clients. And I'll get into that in a second. And that's the part that I've been sitting with and that I've been struggling with. And to be honest, I feel like I'm doing a real big disservice because I know I've been nudged to talk about this particular topic a lot more. And I also know it's not being talked about enough in our spaces as women entrepreneurs, especially for women who are building something, because we talk about strategy, we talk about growing and scaling our business, we talk about making more money, generational wealth, all the key words, right? But we don't talk enough about what's happening inside, what's happening at home, what's happening in our capacity that's actually causing a problem with our business. And my therapist business coaching clients have also been telling me without realizing it over the last, I'm going to say really a lot, the last 2 years, that this has come up on calls, y'all. And y'all know, if y'all been on those calls, exactly what I'm talking about, because I will literally say, oh my gosh, like, this is a topic that I have been wanting to talk to y'all about for a long time. And what tends to happen is that organically they bring these conversations in. So I'm not even going to lie. Some of those topics and calls that we have drilled in on time management, depletion of energy, motherhood, a little bit about bonus motherhood, life transitions, kids moving out the house, empty nesters, and how all of this impacts business. And what's interesting is it keeps coming up. It will come up in our individual threads with our clients who have a certain level of access in our check-ins. It comes up in their voice notes in a conversation when I shoot them a message and say, hey, I ain't heard from you. You didn't come to last month's call. What's going on? And I will get the life is lifing, and I'll come back with, what does that mean? And then when I just dove in deeper into the whole life is lifing topic, this is what I realized. It's not that my clients clearly don't want to make money when, let's just say, they fall back a little bit. It's not that they don't want to grow. It's not that they don't want more out of life. That is actually not the problem. The real problem is there are real barriers in their life. If we can put in all caps the word life, they got some real stuff going on. We are all human. But the connection between life is lifing and it's impacting our business, we keep that sacred. We keep that behind closed doors. And I'm not saying as a business coach that I'm your therapist, nor do you need to tell me everything. But I want at least our community, and if you're not in our community, I'm talking to you as well. I want you to find someone, whether it's a therapist, a mentor, a get it friend that wants to see you win, that you can trust. I want you to create that circle so that you can keep evolving, but have these conversations around what's stopping me from evolving. And part of the time, it's you. It's you creating a blockage that I'm describing right now. But see, here's the thing. We quick to say, let me just have another strategy to make some more money. And this might be you. So I want to say this very clearly. If you keep saying yes to another stream of income, another idea, another offer, and sometimes if you think about it, is actually adding more to your plate because you will have to execute it to see the money. It's not helping your plate. So I'm not saying don't build. I'm not saying don't grow, don't scale. What I am specifically saying is I need you to own your season. I'm telling you what I'm telling myself right now. Own your season that you are in. Because if you do not have the support and if you do not create the space to have the capacity to build the stream of income that you desire and to seek support when you have access to it to help you through this season of mindset blockage, life is lifing, that then leads to or blocks the scalable stream of income, for example, you can have the best strategy in the world. But if you don't have the space and capacity to implement it, I'm going to be real, you're wasting your money. You're actually losing money, and you're actually losing an asset that you cannot get back. It's called time. So here's the part that I personally wrestled with, just so that you don't feel like you're by yourself. When I have opened up spaces for this conversation, real conversations, honest conversations within our communities, within a offer, even behind a paid wall, like a membership. We have one called the In Her Collective. It's really interesting. Less than 1% of people that, are on our list and things like that actually say yes to the very thing that's going to open up more money opportunities. The barriers, the mindset, the time management, the capacity. Let's focus on you being a better woman. Okay. However, when I open up another masterclass, another stream of income, let me share with you how you gonna make $350 an hour. Those spots fill hella fast. Okay. And when I watch this and I share it with my team, we just laugh. Now, I will say what I just told you within our community from time to time, and I'll ask them, have y'all noticed that? So I'm asking myself, what if I stop holding these conversations back? Because what if I'm doing a disservice by not putting it in your face more so that you can recognize, A plus B equals C. In order for me to get more money and also for me to learn the strategy, I got to have the mindset and capacity to implement it. So what if I did talk about this more? What if I did create or enhance the space for women, for moms, for entrepreneurs to navigate in these seasons that they are going in to actually process it? And let me be clear, we've started these conversations in her collective, but if you're not there, you won't create the space. You have to make the space. So I don't want to fix things. I don't want to rush things. I want you to be, excuse my language, in your shit. That's what we tell our clients, right? Like, sit in it. If a client needs to sit in silence for a minute is a long time, but sometimes we need to sit in it. And I personally, clearly, do not have all of this figured out, but I know this is needed, not suggested. I don't usually use the word needed. If you listen to my messaging as a coach, I don't like to say the word needed because I don't know everybody's life. I haven't done an intake on everybody who comes to a masterclass or a webinar or a live stream, but I know this is needed because I've seen it. I've heard it. You probably have told it to me. You know who you are. I've experienced it. And I also know I'm not the only one evolving. So if this episode spoke to you, because this is the tip of the iceberg, I want you first to head over to Instagram, to my DM, Dr. TK Psych. Just check out the show notes. And I just need you to comment one word, evolve. That's it. Now I'm going to set up a system that's going to immediately ask you, what was your biggest takeaway from this episode? I like to see it written out in like a 1 or 2 liner so that I can see it. Now, in addition, if you would love to show me some love so other people can find this podcast episode, please subscribe or follow this podcast episode. And can you leave me a review? I would greatly appreciate it. Of what do you enjoy about my podcast episodes? Because you may have listened to different ones. But this also helps me know if this particular topic, when you go to the DM, resonates with you. So again, head over to Dr. TK Psych on Instagram and DM me the word evolve, and then it'll prompt you to tell me just a little bit more, because I also like to see you in real life. I don't know who's downloading these episodes. I don't know if you listen to the full episode. I don't know anything outside of it shows me that this episode was downloaded a certain amount of times. Okay. So once you start talking to me, it'll also put in the algorithm that we connect, if you get me. Okay. And if you are listening to this and you do not just want strategy to evolve, if you actually want a space, if you want clarity to figure out who you're becoming in this season, I do want you to check out the In Her Collective. If you've been a part of the In Her Collective and you want to come back because maybe you did not utilize it the way that you should have, the way that the next version of you requires you to show up, because it is a particular space for women entrepreneurs where we are focused on whole life, not just business, then I want you to go to the show notes and join. What we talk about is who you're evolving into, aligning your business with that version of you, navigating the different versions of you that exist right now by 12 p.m. We talk about building wealth, additional streams of income, exposure, creating a life that actually feels peaceful. So if you want to just try it out, even if you are an alumni coming back, for $1, you get a trial for a certain amount of days. I believe it's set at a 14-day trial. You get access to our full vault of past conversations, past challenges, past activities, our community. If you know that's the season that you're in right now, then the link is in the show notes. Don't hesitate. If the nudge was already nudging you this whole podcast episode and you know that I spoke to you, what are you waiting on? If you are in our other coaching programs, these conversations are not happening over there. Those are strategy and messaging programs. There are some mindset things that are just for our clients, but it doesn't dive deep. This community does. So I'll see you inside the In Her Collective. Again, this is the tip of the iceberg with other conversations happening. Your girl is recording. So listen, if it becomes like more than one episode a week that's coming down the pipeline, as soon as you see, because if you're following the podcast episode, you should be able to get a notification when you go to the platform that you're listening on. Just say, hey, I need to be in these conversations. Okay. So until then, I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Remember to comment, DM the word evolve on my Instagram so I can connect with you and see who you are as a real person. And I will chat with you in the next episode. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning into the podcast show today. I hope you found the episode inspiring and filled with practical tips to help you step into the abundant version of yourself. Now, I would like to connect with you, so make sure to head down to the show notes for additional abundant resources. Until the next time, keep dreaming big, living abundantly, and making a lasting impact. I will see you in the next episode.